We do have another update topping our headlines here to the fatal shooting from Saturday morning in downtown Sioux Falls. The town of Rock Valley, Iowa is getting excited about a new program coming to the police department. This program will require a strong sense of smell. South Dakota Highway Patrol in particular actually investigating a single vehicle crash on I-229 where they say, they tweeted this information out earlier this morning, one person has died and another is injured. Officials say look at this video right now, Kincaid Fire in Northern California. That is incredible, has grown to over 54,000 acres. The president detailed the top secret operation that led to the death of ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, sadistic little 8-year-old.
Yep. Hey, by the way, welcome. I'm Simon Floss.
Don't be bouncing. Or just up and over and stretching.
All right. We're getting told to wrap here.
Okay.
But
so just some of those simple, neck stretches. Do that a few times and
feel better already.
Now I do it with this leg. All right,
you are getting older.
Yeah. Lower and manage water levels in anticipation of a wet spring again this year. Switching gears and checking in with meteorologist Aaron Dowden. Aaron, we don't have to worry about any rainfall coming up these next few days. What's going on? The driver of the pickup hit the tire, crossed the median into oncoming traffic, and hit a van. The van then crossed the median and rolled into the northbound lanes. The 29-year-old man driving the van was pronounced deceased at the scene. He was not wearing a seatbelt. Northbound lanes were closed for nearly 3 hours. Though it's not thought of as traditional for a dad to stay at home and take care of the kids, it's normal for some. When stay-at-home dad Charlie O'Hara of Sioux Falls started a group for other men in his position, he was just looking to be more social. That's until NBC's Today reached out to him to do an article on this growing community. He's been a stay-at-home dad for almost 8 years, taking care of his 3 boys. Definitely keeps him busy, and having a spotlight on men in the same role helps to normalize it.
The eyes of South Dakota are locked in primarily on one race.
Probably the governor's race.
How could you not be captivated by the governor's race?
But I think the most important race is the governor's race.
The gubernatorial race will probably be a bit of a nail biter.
I'm honed in on the race for the governor.
The race is historic as South Dakota could see the first female governor ever or the first Democratic governor in nearly 40 years.
I just think this is a very important election. There's a lot of divide, and I think the voices need to be heard so we can have appropriate representation and both sides have information of how people feel.
But that's not the only reason voters filled in their ballots. Many say it's just the right thing to do, and it paves the way for the future.
The tight nature of the race between the 2 candidates for governor is an exciting reason to participate, but it's really not what got me out. I think that it's just, for me, trying to set an example for my kids and to be able to look my neighbors in the eye and say, hey, we all participated.
More and more, the calling to fill the civic duty is being heard by the next generation of South Dakota voters, and it's something they don't take lightly.
Well, first of all, voting is your civic duty. If you don't vote, you have no reason to complain about anything that goes on because you didn't do anything to either stop it or bring it forward.
I think that people should make it a priority. I know that sometimes, it might not be, but think about all the people who have died so that we can continue having democracy and, rule by the people.
It's an absolute beautiful, serene place, but then there are times when it can get violent, and this is one of them.
Scenic, quiet, peaceful. 3 words commonly used to describe Del Rapids until this past weekend. The flooded Big Sioux River has forced many residents out of their homes. Jeff Cooper and his wife are just 2 of them.
She got up at about 12:30 and she looked out the window, and right over here, the water was on the other side of the garage, and then all of a sudden it was around the garage.
And while they couldn't believe what was happening,
we didn't realize that it was going to come so quick upon us. And I don't think anyone ever does, really, with floods. You can talk about it, but in the end, it's still just amazing when it hits.
They knew that time was of the essence.
Anything that was, on floor level had to come up, get it off the ground, everything. So, yeah, it was intense.
Jeff checks on his house daily. The water is still rising in the river and isn't expected to recede for over a week. He and his wife don't know what they'll be able to keep or what they'll lose. But the lifelong Del Rapids resident refuses to lose 2 things, his smile and his sense of humor.
Enjoy my lakefront property.
His attitude remains more positive than most.
You know, your faith. It's always your faith.
Due to the place and the people he's always called home.
My phone blew up with what can we do for you? How can we help? What do we need to do? And that's Del Rapids. I think that's South Dakota. That was freaky.
It's a lot of work. There's a lot of just permits and paperwork to fill out, barricades, just all the logistics.
There are a lot of moving parts when organizing a parade in Sioux Falls, much less the first of its kind. Organizers of the inaugural Sioux Falls Pride Parade have had their sleeves rolled up for a long time now.
Pitching the idea back in September, October, and started the formal application process in February, so it's kind of been, quite a long journey for us.
Recently, Sioux Falls made the top 10 list of places to celebrate Pride in, according to popsugar.com. Engel and the Pride Committee knew that a parade would take the celebration to another level.
The parade is just one more step on top of the festival and all of the other events that show Sioux Falls as a place where we do have a community and we are supported.
I think the parade is just one more chance for our community to come out, to come together, to celebrate. It gives us, an opportunity to be visible.
The support and ability to be visible is something the Pride community says they haven't always had, which makes this parade all the more special.
For people who especially have felt kind of on the outskirts, kind of have felt as if they didn't belong or they didn't have a place.
In Sioux Falls, Simon Floss, KDLT News.